Good morning, students. Today our topic is Fresnel's biprism. Okay, so it's very important question. Fresnel's biprism. Fresnel's biprism. So biprism, what it means? So here we should know the purpose of biprism also. Okay, before that, what is the meaning of biprism? Bi, nothing but two. Okay, so bi, nothing but two. Okay, we are using two prisms for preparation for biprism. I mean, biprism contain two prisms. Okay, so biprism contain two prisms. So this is the meaning of biprism. So actually, this experiment invented by Fresnel, so that this topic we call as a Fresnel's biprism. Okay, and so here we should know what is the use or what is the purpose of this Fresnel biprism. So this is used for to show the phenomenon of interference. Okay, to show or to prove the interference pattern. So they used. So Fresnel used this biprism. Okay, this is the main purpose of Fresnel biprism. Okay, so what is the purpose of Fresnel biprism? So mainly to show the phenomenon of interference. Okay, interference pattern. So this is the main use of the purpose of the Fresnel biprism. Okay, so here first we should know the construction of biprism. So actually this biprism is nothing but combination of two acute prisms. Do you know the acute angle or obtuse angle? So acute angle. Acute nothing but this angle between 0 degrees and 90 degrees. Okay, this is the angle between 0 degrees and 90 degrees. Then this is called as the acute angle. Okay, what is the meaning of obtuse angle? Obtuse angle. So what is the meaning of obtuse angle? So obtuse angle is nothing but the angle in between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. Okay, the angle in between 90 degrees and 180 degrees, then this is called as a obtuse angle. So here this biprism is nothing but it is a combination of acute prism placed base to base. Okay, so in fact this combination from optically plain glass plate by proper grinding and polishing. Okay, so we are using how we prepare this biprism, nothing but by using plain glass plate. So proper and polishing, then and when we add base to base. If we take prism like this, so here prism. So if we add this base, this is a base. This one is also base. So we add this base to this base. So then we get this biprism. Okay, na? So this is the process or preparation for the biprism. So here we should remember another point. The angle of this biprism nearly 179 degrees. Okay, the angle. So the angle of this biprism nothing but 179 degrees. So here this is above 90 degrees, so that this is called as a obtuse angle. This angle we call as a obtuse angle. The obtuse angle of biprism. So one side 179 degrees, so other side 30 inches, 30 degrees also, 30 seconds. We measure angle in degrees or radians or inches also, or in seconds also. Okay, so other side, one side the obtuse angle of prism 179 degrees, other side 30 seconds. Okay, so here what is the purpose? What is the main purpose of biprism? You should know the purpose of the biprism. So the main purpose of biprism is nothing but biprism produce two coherent images. Okay, so biprism, this is a biprism produce when we impose it with or illuminated with some light, so it produces the two coherent sources or two coherent images. So this biprism so divide these images or waveframe into two coherent images. So this is the main use of the biprism. Okay, so this is the main use of the biprism. So it produced two coherent images of a given slit which are separated at a certain distance behave as two coherent sources. So these images behave like as a two coherent sources. Okay, so here the main use of Fresnel biprism to give the coherent sources, to produce the coherent sources. Okay, so first of all we should know the experimental arrangement. So what is the experimental arrangement of Fresnel biprism? So this Fresnel biprism contain, this is optical bench. Okay, so optical bench carries 4 stands, 1 2 3 4. So this one carries 4 stands. So first for an adjustable slit, this is slit, and second for biprism, and third for lens, and next for micrometer eyepiece. Okay, micrometer eyepiece. So these all 4 stands we put on the optical bench. So optical bench. So here so these all stands are at the same height. So these 4 stands are maintained in same height. Okay, and the stands can be moved along as well as right angles to the length of optical bench. So these stands we are able to move along this side, or right angles to the optical glass plate, optical bench. Okay, and the slit biprism can be rotated in their own places. So the slit and the biprism we can rotate in their own planes. Okay, so here next process we are illuminated by slit with some monochromatic source light, sodium lamp or sodium light. Okay, I mean we impose some sodium light on the slit. So sodium lamp gives always yellow color light. The sodium lamp gives yellow color light. Mercury lamp gives white color light. Okay, so in this experiment we use sodium vapor lamp. So this here we put sodium vapor lamp automatically. So this sodium light incident on the slit. Okay, so when the light emerging from the slit falls on the biprism, automatically this light from the slit incident on the biprism. Okay, so here, so this we observe this diagram also. So here this is a source, and this here we put nearly slit, and this one is a biprism, and this one is a screen or eyepiece. Okay, so the distance between two sources S1 and S2 we represented with 2D. Okay, D, capital D is nothing but the distance between sources and screen. Capital D, the distance between source and screen. Okay, so the total process we observe in eyepiece, micrometer eyepiece. With our eye we can observe the process, we can observe the fringes or images of the sources. Okay, so here observe this is A and B and D and C. So this B point, one light is incident on this biprism through the slit. Automatically this B point divide the incident wavefront into two parts. Okay, this B point divide the incident wavefront into two parts, in this way, two parts. Okay, so first part of light pass through the ABD. First part of the light pass through the ABD, but deviate with some small angle and move towards to the lower side. Okay, the first part of the light, or the first part of the off part of the image, so deviated with a small angle and towards the lower half of the diagram. Okay, it moves towards lower half of the angle. Okay, so next another light or another image pass through the DBC or CBD. Okay, another half of wave or another half of image pass through this one and deviated with a small angle, and so this one deviates to the upper side of the screen. Okay, upper side. So and so these waves or these wavefronts appears to diverge from the virtual image S1. Okay, so this one diverge light shows or appears from the S1 source. Okay, virtual source S1 first half, and second half emerge from the second virtual image S2. Okay, so but actual thing is the light or these images are passed through the B from the biprism. So this biprism, this B point divides the image two parts, but virtually. సో మనకు కనిపించడం మాత్రము S1 నుంచి వచ్చినట్టు S2 వచ్చినట్టు కనిపిస్తున్నట్టు. ఓకే, సో ఇన్ దిస్ వే, so these sources are coherent sources. Last class will I explained to you S1 S2 behave like as a serve as a coherent sources. So what is the meaning of coherent sources? S1 is source, S2 is source. So this source produce a light, so this one is also produce light. The properties of this wave is similar to the properties of another wave. So then these sources we call as a coherent sources. Okay, so here, so due to this reason the sources serve as a coherent sources, then we get the interference pattern. Okay, when S1 S2 are coherent sources, then only we get the interference pattern. Okay, and next so adjustments of the experiment. So determination of wavelength of light. First of all, we have to adjust all these experimental operators. So first one, so the optical bench is leveled with the help of the spirit level. Okay, spirit level is one, so we are leveled with the help of spirit level. And next one, slit biprism eyepiece are adjusted to the same height. This slit biprism and this eyepiece maintain same height. Okay, so we should adjust all these operators with the same point. And bipiece is focused on its crosswire. Okay, so here the light compulsory incident on this slit, and so this one is focused on the crosswire. Actually slit contain this like this, so we should this light focused on this crosswire. This is we call as a crosswire. And next one, so the slit is made narrow and vertical. Okay, the slit made narrow like this, so narrow and vertical. We should adjust like this. Okay, then we get this this way. And illuminate by monochromatic light. We know that we know the monochromatic lights. Monochromatic is nothing but single color. Okay, so here the biprism moved at right equals to the length of optical bench. Okay, so these are the adjustment of the biprism operators. And so next adjustment, the fringes are made clear by rotating the biprism its own plane. Okay, when we rotate biprism its own plane, then we get the clear fringes or bright fringes. Okay, and so when eyepiece is moved away from the prism, the fringes often shift sideways. Okay, when eyepiece also moving right side and left side, so if these eyepiece often shift sideways, when we move sideways we get the lateral shift. Okay, this is called as a lateral shift. When we remove lateral shift, then so we get the interference pattern, or then we get the stationary interference. Okay, when we move eyepiece like this left side right side particular point, we get the sharp images, sharp fringes. Okay, so next we will study of the theory. Already we discussed about the fringes width. Already we did a fringes width. So what is the fringes width? So last class when I explained to you, fringe width of the fringe beta is equal to lambda d by 2d. Okay, lambda is nothing but wavelength of incident wave, and d is the screen distance, the distance between slits and the screen, and 2 is the distance between two coherent sources, or the distance between two slits. Okay, from this formula we can derive lambda is equal to beta into 2d by lambda d. Okay, so we can calculate with this formula. We can calculate wavelength of the light from this formula. So already we know this beta is nothing but fringe width, and 2d is the distance between two slits or two coherent sources. D is the distance between slit and eyepiece or screen. Okay, so next we will calculate the measurement of the fringe width. First we have to calculate the beta fringe width and 2d, and next we will calculate the d. Okay, so measurement of fringe width. So how we can find out the width of the fringe, width of the slit? So first of all, vertical cross wire is adjusted on any bright fringe. so high piece contain vertical crosswire. When we adjusted on the bright fringe, so we get bright fringes like this. Okay, so when we adjust on the bright fringe, and next we note the micrometer reading. Okay, first of all we are taking this crosswire adjust on the bright fringe. So next we noted the micrometer value. Okay, so next after that, so next we adjusted this crosswire and the another next light fringe. So next we note the micrometer value. So next so we can subtract this value to this value, then we get the fringe width. Okay, so automatically we'll get the fringe width. So this is a process for to find out the fringe width. And the measurement of the by using optical bench directly we will calculate the d value. Okay, and next measurement of 2d. So this is a lengthy process. 2d, how we will define how will calculate the 2d. So here this one is a eyepiece or okay eyepiece, and this one is a biprism. So we used lenses. When we first of all when we move this lens in between biprism and eyepiece, at particular place we get the sharp fringe. Okay, so first of all when we move this apparatus between this biprism and the screen, automatically we get at particular place we get the sharp fringe. Okay, and we can next we identify the we represent with the L1. Okay, this place we represented with the L1. Okay, and the fringe distance we represented with the D1. Okay, after that, so next after that we remove this lens in between biprism and eyepiece. Okay, so next we get the sharp fringe. At that also we noted with the L2. Okay, L2, and the fringes, the distance between the bright fringes also we can represent with the dt. Okay, d2. So automatically, so when we use this formula, and v, what are the v and u? V is nothing but the distance between source and lens. U, the distance between L2 and eyepiece. Okay, once again repeating same point. So here v is nothing but the distance between sources and L2, and here u is nothing but the distance between L2 and u. Okay, so next by using this formula, so d1 by 2d is equal to v by u, and dt by 2d is equal to u by v. So from this we can write with the finally we get 2d is equal to 2d, the distance between two coherent sources, 2d is equal to root of d1 and d2. Okay, from this formula we can find out the 2d value. Okay, so in this way we'll find out the we can find wavelength of the incident source or wavelength of the light, and we can find out the fringes, we can find out the distance between screen or eyepiece and the sources, and we can find out the distance between two slits also. Okay, so this is the main information about the Fresnel biprism. So the main ultimate purpose of the Fresnel biprism, so this biprism, it divides the or it gives the two coherent sources. Okay, from one source it divide into so two coherent sources. Okay, so this is a process for to produce the two coherent sources. We have number of process. This is the first process to get the coherent sources. Okay, so this one is derived from the one single source. Okay, so mainly just we are using one single source. So here only just we are using single source. When we use this process, then we get the two single coherent sources. Okay, two coherent sources. For this purpose we are using this Fresnel biprism. Okay, thank you.